What's good with it, y'all? It's your boy Santo G, back at it. You already know, spreading unity, prosperity, and respect. Above all, if you're new here, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell. It don't cost you nothing, and it will help out this channel. So today, I wanted to just tell you guys the story of pretty much a couple of roadblocks that I went through after both of my cellies ended up getting down, and then pretty much one ended up going home, the other one ended up going to another yard. So I already spoke on when he ended up going to get water, and then my other celly ended up running up from behind them and blasting them, and then they ended up getting down. So pretty much when he ended up going to the other yard, I ended up staying with the phone. So when he went to the other yard and I was pretty much the only one there, a couple of other people that were on that yard that pretty much had some type of say-so that were on the table, for lack of better words. If you could read between the lines, then you know what's up. So when he left, he ended up calling. As I told you guys, when he ended up landing over there, he was still trying to call and get people to collect the feria from the phone that I had took the rap for. So he was trying to do that. Once he seen that he wasn't budging with that, he started trying to push the issue with the phone that stayed. Cause that one, it was the same thing. We ended up going halves on it again. So it was to the point where he ended up taking off and I didn't even cash him out his half yet. So now I got people pushing up on me like, hey bro, like that phone belongs to us. That's the homie. Woo woo why. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say too much, but they were trying to push up. Like, hey, that phone belongs to us, this and that. And pretty much the agreement that me and the homie had came up with, I was gonna pay him at a certain time. So I pretty much just told him like, hey look, check this out. This was the agreement, and said date ain't even up yet. The agreement was that on this date I was gonna give him this much, on this date I was gonna give him this much. Now him leaving, that's beyond my control, you know what I'm saying? I still have contact with his people. My people still have contact with his people, because I had a couple of numbers of people that I could call, even though I personally wasn't in play or anything like that. I still had numbers to his people to the point where I could hit them up. As a matter of fact, one of his homies ended up helping me out a little bit with that, and I'm gonna tell you guys in a little bit how that transpired. So boom, I'm telling them that. They mad. I ain't even gonna lie, they mad. It was one individual in particular. He was hot, you know what I'm saying? They called him. So pretty much he was just like, woo woo why, that belongs to us, woo 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 why. And I was like, man look, check this out. He left because this and this happened. Now how is this whole thing that happened, how is that messing up what I got going on? As long as homeboy gets paid and he gets his money when we agreed upon, then I don't see no issue, and you shouldn't be making an issue of something that don't concern you. So we left it at that right there. Next day goes by. It just so happened that his homeboy was calling to check in. It was one of the homies that was on C yard. He was at the level 4 in that same prison. I was in the level 2. I was on F yard, and he was right there on C yard in the level 4. So boom, he calls, let him know the situation, and then me and the homie had been chopped it up like before. Prior to that, we had been messaged, chopped it up. So we just chopping it up. He like, what's up with you, my boy? Like, everything good? And I just told him like, hey look, check this out. Like, next time you talk to homeboy, because I hadn't talked to him yet. Like, I don't know what was going on with him, but he had just called there to see what was going on with the situation that he had with our other celly. Because he was trying to have our other celly before he went home. So, boom, all that happens. Boom. He calls me, right? And I tell him, like, hey, look, this is what's going on. You know what I mean? He's like, what? Like, hey, hell nah. Like, Charles. Like, ain't none of that going on. Like, put it like this. Next time they come at you, just give them my number and tell them I said to get at me. Anything, any issues they have with that phone, any questions concerning that phone, tell them to call me. And I got you. You know what I'm saying? And big salute. You know what I'm saying? Big salute right there. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't have to do that. Straight up. Like, we never seen each other face to face or anything like that. It was all over phone contact, messages and stuff like that. And sure enough, they came. Hey, you need to come outside. And by that time, I was already on CTQ. Or I wasn't CTQ yet. Yeah, I was already CTQ. You're confined to quarters. So I'm in my cell. I can't even go outside. I believe no, I wasn't CTQ yet. I was just C status. Cause C status, you're allowed to go to yard 1 hour a day. It was the last unlock from like 3 to like 4. So they're like, hey, come out to yard, woo. So I go out to yard, right there, talking to old boy, woo. He's trying to push up, woo. And I'm just holding my ground, like, hey, nah, G, like, check this out. Like, that's not gonna happen, woo. If you have any other questions concerning this or anything like that, get that old boy right here, you know what I'm saying? And we just left it at that. To be honest, I ended up at the end of it, I ended up flipping that phone for $2,000 and 2 street grams of some carga. Like probably like 5-6 months later on down the road, I ended up just flipping it. It was certain stuff going on at the pad to where I was having trouble getting that feria, and then a buyer presented itself to where homeboy approached me and was like, hey, look, I'll give you 2,000 and I'll give you 2 street grams. Like, what? He's like, I'll give you 2,000 and 2 street grams. And at that time, my celly, I had just moved back in with my celly, the homie Scrappy that I was with in B yard. And at the time, he had a little flip. So we were just like, man, it's a no-brainer. Like, fuck it. I know it was a touch and all that, but as long as you could call, you could text, we're like, man, you know what? I ended up selling it. Ended up sending him 1,000. I kept 1,000 and I kept the 2 street grams to make my money with. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why I had to part ways was because it was just too much drama concerning that phone. You know what I mean? It was right there where we were at. It was kind of hard to come across them. So that's why when homeboy approached me like, hey, I'll give you 2,000 and I'll give you this, I was like, what? Shoot it. Like, come on now. It's a no-brainer for me. But yeah, man, that's that story right there of what transpired after that. I know I told this story before, but I didn't really tell it in depth like this. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Santo G, real, raw, and uncut. Just a little story, man, of stuff that happens of real life, real, raw, uncut stuff that happens behind them walls. You know what I'm saying? And it just so happened that, like I said, I knew what time it was. I have a good mouthpiece. And not only that, I had homeboy back in my plate. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure if it would have been anybody else, they would have coughed up the phone. They would have got scared, been like, hey, I don't want nothing to do with it. Here you go. And just been like that. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody would have questioned it. Because at the end of the day, they only get away with whatever you let them type shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody only does you wrong for as long as you let them type. So if you give somebody an inch and they take a mile, you're gonna have to, hey, kick back. You're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? You have to, because if not, they're not gonna see no wrong with what they doing. And behind them walls is a dog-eat-dog world. All people are doing every day they wake up, they just politicking, plotting on the next man. They ain't got nothing better to do. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, y'all think about that. Stay out on these streets, worry about your money, worry about your family, worry about your health. And at the end of the day, man, you're gonna prosper in life. It's your boy Santo G, man. And with that being said, I'm out.